Coming into the spring of 2021, there was a lot of excited chatter about the coming of brood 10 cicadas. There were wild estimates of 1 trillion cicadas, so expectations were high. The first signs of the emergence were not the cicadas themselves, but holes all over the ground. These holes were dug by the grubs, who then waited for the ground to warm up before they emerged. Weeks later, here and there, we began to see small clusters of cicadas. The talk of 1 trillion cicadas seemed wildly exaggerated. Then, one night, following an unseasonably warm day, they began to emerge. The next morning, we arose to see hundreds of cicadas around our house. There were dozens on our concrete porch and more latched onto the brick walls of our house. Each day more and more emerged. Within a week, there were thousands of cicada shells and newly metamorphized cicadas on the trees around our house. Our hostas and other flowering plants were covered with cicadas. Our morning routines changed. We added the daily sweeping of cicadas from the brick house facade, the porch and post, and our porch chair. We also had to check to ensure there were no cicadas hitching a ride into the house. They would land on you, and more than once, unbeknown to us, climbed into our shirts. When one day we noticed the spaceship sounds, the loud, steady buzz that some have described as phaser fire, or the sound of thousands of car alarms going off at a distance. Initially, I found the sounds fascinating, but soon grew tired of the high-pitched, continuous noise. Wherever I went, I heard the humming in the parks, in the woods, in the neighborhood. I could hear it when I was inside my house. The earlier estimate of 1 trillion cicadas all of a sudden seemed a little on the low side. Next, I began to notice the mating cicadas everywhere. Then slowly, the sound began to quiet, but the odor of their decaying bodies began to fill the air. Thus ended our great cicada emergence of 2021.